Hey, what up, guys? Chan Trade's back, otherwise known as Bankroll or Luke. Call me whatever. But I just made $508 trading ES futures. So today was a good day. Today was a pretty good day. I'm like the meme right now. The ba da 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 da. Currently got a Rebel Yell in the earphones, so we're having a great day. Let's just recap this trade. I'm gonna go into as much detail as possible. If you guys want to follow along in all the detail, stick around. If you guys just want to see the short form, it's on my Instagram, linked in the description of this video. But let's just check it out. We're on the 4 hour right now. Doesn't really tell you much besides there's highs, that type of deal. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the 10-minute. We're going to break down how I found my bias for the day to go bullish, right? Which we went bullish for the day, right? So essentially, I've mentioned this before. I trade off of some type of manipulation. So today we had just consolidation, right? Like this is consolidation. So this is like this first line and this second line right here. That's Asian session. The second line, the third line, London, and then the third line, fourth line. That's like the pre-market to kind of when I want to trade for New York session. So we kind of just see consolidation. We kind of we do go down. We sweep these lows down here, so we kind of manipulate, but really just consolidation, right? But at pre-market, we come down and we manipulate London lows. So my bias for the day was bullish because we manipulated, and I thought we would get a reversal off that move down, right? Off that manipulation, because all these orders were filled right here. On top of that, we got an SMT. I've described SMTs. I'll describe it really quick, though. It's basically if one stock or indice or index, whatever, does the other, doesn't lean other, right? You can kind of predict where price is going to go. So today, NQ went down, made a lower low. ES made a higher high. NQ is the lagging index. Typically, you would want to take the trade on the lagging index. I've been taking the trade on the leading index. It's just been better setups, better risk to reward. But in short, that's kind of what that is. So what do we have so far? So we have our bullish bias for the day because we had manipulation of London lows. We had a bullish S&T, so it's just perfect bullish setup, right? Also, too, we had these relative equal highs from London and Asian session. It's just an area where price wants to go, right? Super strong. That's where orders will be filled, right? We also had some really strong liquidity up here. And I honestly could have said it to go that far, but I didn't, and I'll explain why in a minute. But that was my thought process coming into today. If we just go down to the 5-minute, this is where I started on to look for my executions. Market open was this candle right here, so we can start to push up, and we actually break structure, as you can tell. So this is up, this is down. We break structure with the candle body pushing up. So automatically, I'm thinking, okay, we broke structure, starting to look for a long setup, right? On NQ, we didn't. We actually came down. We manipulated more. We manipulated these 5-minute highs. And the S&T was still valid. And in fact, there would have been another one really kind of wherever NQ went. There was going to be some type of bullish S&T. So it was perfect. And from there, what I kind of determined was I want to look for some type of entry. But I thought we might manipulate a little more, which we didn't, which is fine. You don't have to necessarily have double manipulation so you do. So there's new money entering the market in New York session, but the manipulation occurred in New York pre-market, which is at 6:30, which is right here. So we kind of already manipulated in New York session. So I was comfortable not manipulating any more than what we already did. Coming into the entry, there is a breaker block right here, which is just this candle. We have equilibrium that's marked with the green line, and that's just the middle between the swing low to swing high. That's kind of what I had. I had a fair value gap too. It's super tiny, but kind of used it. From there, when I marked those out as price was starting to form, holy consolidation. I guess market is in Asian session, so that is to be expected. But from there, I was just waiting for price to kind of push back into these confluences. So we barely tap into it right here into this breaker block, but that personally wasn't enough for me, especially on NQ at that time. I can pull it up. Oh my gosh, we're just jumping back and forth, yeah. Because NQ was just kind of hanging out. We didn't even break structure. We were just kind of just hanging out down here. Wasn't enough for me to want to make a move because I thought NQ had to manipulate more, or NQ was going to form price a little more. So I wasn't comfortable taking this trade off of just that. So we come down, we wait, which is good. Patience is key, and we actually fully come into equilibrium, breaker block, and this for value gap. We fill all of them. From there, I'm just looking for some type of confluence that tells me that order flow is shifted. What I found today was Fibonacci, so the 79% extension from this high to this low. So high to the low. You can use Fibonacci. I guess the best way to do it would be break a structure. I use Fib, break a structure, inverse for value gap. I've explained all of those too, but for Fibonacci, essentially, if price pushes into a level in a price range, which is the swing high to swing low, it's as good as a break a structure in my eyes. It's basically saying price is already here. It's a lot easier for price to break structure from here than to come all the way down here, right? So with that being said, I entered. I got filled a little late, so I got filled where this candle was forming, which is fine. We created a for value gap 2 in this candle, so we just kind of push back into this for value gap. I was monitoring NQ because NQ did not break structure at all. So just kind of during this trade, let's see, this was the 5 minute. Really where I entered. Yeah, I was kind of monitoring right here. So we broke 1 minute structure, but I was monitoring the 5 minute kind of in this area. So let's see. So the 5 minute, yeah, I did Fib again. Actually, I did not do Fib. I used Fib to measure equilibrium. Because I was going to see break structure. Anyways, we got to break a structure with this candle right here. But for that time period, I was just kind of managing my position, just kind of looking and just making sure everything was going well, right? Because we didn't get a break. So we just kind of hung out right here for a few minutes. Price action super slow today. Oh, it was just it is what it is. I think I was in the trade for 26 minutes total, so it was slow. It wasn't fast. It was kind of grueling, and it is what it is. I had this SMT in mind, a bearish SMT, just from the difference of how far NQ is pushing how far ES was pushing up compared to NQ. I thought NQ would rebalance it though, and it did. Anyways, going back to the 1 minute, we'll kind of just explain once I entered. So I already explained the drawdown, right? So we're just kind of just chilling here. And really just waiting for NQ to break 5 minute structure. Once NQ does that, we start to get a candle or some candles out. But it's still super slow. Like this price action, not the best. But it worked, right? These purple lines right here are fair value gaps on the 5 minute. I just had them marked so I can see when we would inverse them. Not that it really mattered. Order flow is already shifting in my direction. They can be used as take profit levels. I only had one contract today. If I had 2, 3, 4, however many contracts, I could have took profit at these levels. But really just kind of use them to continue my confirmation that price was going in the direction that I wanted it to go. So we come up, we take out London session high, and from there, I'm still not entered in the trade yet. I'm still not exited the trade yet. Because my final take profit was Asian session high, and we start to push back down. And at this point, the 5-minute candle is starting to close. There was 1 minute left, or it was like 1 or 2 minutes, right? Like up in these candles. We formed a bearish SMT. So my plan to actually exit, see, because these were the highs right here. This was the time. So we formed a bearish SMT between ES and NQ. So my plan was I was going to let the 5-minute play out for both of them, and that would really determine whether ES would make a push, NQ would make a push, try to rebalance the SMT. And it did within the 5 minutes, so that was good. If it didn't, I might have exited somewhere around here just because I didn't really want to stay in a trade with SMT. But things went well, which is good. I could have had like a full extension right here, at least maybe to these highs or even like this data high, but I think this was a good trade. If I had more contracts, I would have held out longer. I would have held one out longer. But there's a huge SMT, and which is this SMT right here. And I think it's good that I exited where I exited with one contract, because I think it would be super risky to hold this one contract with that SMT. Anyways, this was a good trade. Again, made $508. Had patience. I'd have a lot of patience because this was a long day. I was stressing a little bit, especially right here. We were in drawdown and all that fun stuff, but overall, it was great. I think what I could do better, or hone in a little better, entry, right? Like entry, great, but just trying to get entered in a little sooner maybe, or be more confident in my entry, because I was delayed a little bit with the fib. I don't know if I wanted to use it or not, but I just decided like that probably 10 seconds into the candle forming, so I could have done that instantly. Would have had a slightly better entry. I think my stop loss was good. It was protected under like these relative, these equal lows right here. So, and all this confluence up here. So I thought stop loss was good where I had it. And yeah, I think overall winning trade, right? Good day. Learned a lot, executed in a great way. And I'm super excited for what comes next, really, right? But if you guys want to, again, check out the trade recap on my Instagram, I'm trying to do some different things there, not necessarily fully recap the trade there, but kind of talk about the trade in more depth without the chart and stuff like that, right? Because this is just explaining it, but maybe more my thought process, mental processes, stuff like that. But if you want to check that out, go check that out. Again, link bio, description, all the fun details. And yeah. All right, well, I'll see you guys. You guys are loved. You guys are seen. And you guys are badasses, like Johnny Lawrence would say. Yeah. That was pretty weak. That was supposed to be my crane kick, but, whatever. All right, well, peace, guys. I'll see you. Bye-bye.